I'm here with the matrix number of BN22110182 from FSMP, that is Faculty Food Science and Nutrition. This is my presentation for tugasan 2 of the UL00402, that is Bahasa and Komunikasi. So my title is about the sign language. So the first we are going to discuss is the introduction. So what is sign language? Sign languages are languages that convey meaning through the visual manual modality rather than spoken words. Sign languages are completely natural languages with their own grammar and vocabulary. Sign language may be considered a real language because it employs a finite, albeit complicated, set of units and rules that allow for the synthesis of an infinite number of sentences. Although signing is primarily used by the deaf and hard of hearing, it is also used by hearing people who are unable to physically speak, have difficulty with oral language due to disability or condition, and have deaf family members, including children or deaf adults. The exact number of sign languages in the universe is unknown. Every country has its own sign language, and some have more than one. For example, we can use different type of languages such as American Sign Language, and the Malaysian Sign Languages, Russian Sign Language, and Australian Sign Language, and so on. So I'm going to show you about the type of sign language. The first type is about the Malaysian Sign Language. It's called as the Bahasa Isyarat Malaysia, and the short form is BIM. It's the principal language of the deaf community of Malaysia. Malaysian Sign Language was established in 1998 with the formation of the Malaysian Federation of the Deaf. It also the official language used by the Malaysian government to communicate with the deaf community. So this is the picture of the Malaysian Sign Language alphabet. So just now that I show you is about the H, and the I is high. Right. So the second type of the sign language is about the American Sign Language. Is also called as the ASL. ASL is a natural language that is primary sign language of deaf communities in the United States of America and the majority of Anglophone Canada. The obvious distinction between ASL and other sign languages and vocally produced languages is the method by which their words are produced and perceived. ASL is a complete and well-organized virtual language that employs both manual and non-manual features. So ASL was developed in the early 18th centuries at the American School for the Deaf in West Hartford, Connecticut. School for the Deaf and Deaf Community Organization have widely promoted ASL use. American Sign Language have 5 parameters, and they are hand shape, palm orientation, location, movement, and non-manual markers or signals. So the first parameter is about the hand shape. This refers to the way that the hands are put together at the beginning of every ASL word. Secondly is the palm orientation. This is the direction the hand is turned when making a sign. The third one is about the location. This has to do with the location where the signs are made. Next is the movement. This has to do with moving the hands around when signing. Lastly is about the non-manual markers or signals. These are the signs or gestures that are made without hands. To send a message, mostly the gestures are made by our shoulder, head, or face to make some reaction to communicate with someone. So this is the picture of the American Sign Language alphabet. So as you can see, right, the H is the same, but the I is a bit inclined. So this is the Malaysian and this is the American. Alright, so we are going to discuss about the use of sign language. So firstly, the sign language as a form of manual communication commonly used by the deaf is crucial for deaf people. Many deaf and hard of hearing people communicate with one another using sign languages. Sign languages are the native languages of the deaf community and provide them with full communication access. Sign languages are mostly used by people who are deaf or hard of hearing, but they are also used by people who can hear but cannot speak. Secondly, sign language enable deaf and mute people to be more expressive. Sign languages are more than just hand movement. They also include like arm, body, and facial expression to communicate with someone. And then sign language is helpful for people with autism spectrum disorder, that is ASD. Some children with ASD have trouble learning how to talk. Some children with ASD may find that learning sign language help them to communicate with others. Many kids with ASD have been able to communicate better when they use sign language instead of spoken other language. Sign language can give privilege to a person in communicating privately in public places. This should only work if the conversation is not visible to someone who understands sign language. Sign languages can be a great way to discuss privately and pass on confidence to someone. So why should we learn sign language? Firstly is to communicate with those who are deaf and hard of hearing. Sign language is a form of communication that does not rely on sound. Deaf people are able to communicate with others by utilizing hand signals. Next, we can use to help the deaf community. Learning sign language is a means to demonstrate solidarity with the deaf population and to assist in breaking down barriers between hearing and deaf individuals. You may also demonstrate your dedication to diversity and enhancing communication amongst individuals of all abilities by studying sign language. Thirdly, it can benefit us with our personal growth. It can help you strengthen your cognitive capacities, boost your communication skill, and widen your cultural perspective. To advance our careers is because studying sign language may lead to new opportunity in industries such as education, social work, and healthcare. It assists you becoming more better in your work. So how can we learn sign language in a proper way? So we can look for a sign language lesson or course in your neighborhood, like sign language programs are frequently offered in community centers and adult education centers. You can check with your local community center or adult education center to see if any sign language are offered. So the second is to seek out a tutor or mentor. You may find a private tutor more of a benefit if you find a larger class environment is too difficult to learn it. Next one is to immerse oneself in the language. Immersion is the language is a fantastic approach to learn sign language because you can try to use a sign language when you are communicate with someone like your family member or your friend, so you can learn it faster. And lastly is to practice consistently. You can make time each day or week to sign with friends or family members who are also learning. Regular practice is essential for learning any language, including sign language. So about the conclusion is sign languages were utilized for everyday communication within local and larger community of deaf people until recently. Sign languages were not taught formally at first or foreign languages, nor were they examined or characterized. They were owned by the users, persons who were born deaf and were disregarded, looked down on, or simply invisible to everyone outside of the deaf community. Hearing person primarily carriers who wanted to save deaf souls were engaged. They utilized science as a means of communication to reach out and educate deaf people. They use science as a method for communicating with deaf people, for teaching deaf people to read and write spoken language, and maybe to speak and lip read, a tool for making deaf person and sign language conform to contemporary hearing modes. In a word, we should all be encouraged to learn sign language in order to make the world a more peaceful and environmentally friendly place. So this is the reference that I use to find my information. That's all what I want to present. Thank you for watching it.